Well, hello, it's Lou, and in today's episode of Earrings Off, Teresa and I talk about something that might seem small, but actually it runs deeper than you think. I recently noticed I have some apps on my phone for my old gym, my former yoga studio, and even my former church, which are all back in Virginia, where I used to live. I don't use them anymore, and yet I still haven't deleted them. That got us to thinking how many of us are holding on to things that no longer serve us. Not just apps, but habits, routines, even relationships that are well past their expiration date. So today, Teresa and I are digging into why it's so hard to let go, how to know when it's time, and how free we feel when we finally do it. Trust me, you don't want to miss this episode.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa.
Well, hello, partner.
Hi, partner. What's happening?
I tell you, it's been a week. I just still can't believe that we are midway through the year, you know?
Girl,
Yeah.
neither I. I mean, it's time just really, really flies. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
And the
tell
year,
you, this year has been rough for me.
yeah.
It's been very busy. I'm not saying that I'm blessed. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying emotionally, there's been a lot of ups and downs. And more recently, this stuff that's happening in the news, we don't even want to
Yeah.
start talking about this
Yeah. Yeah.
potential
Yeah.
escalation in the Middle East. Oh my
Oh,
God.
oh my
And
goodness.
just so many things happening.
Yeah.
Somehow it makes time go faster.
Well, it's interesting when we started talking about this, your words were exactly what I was thinking in my head. My year has been up and down.
Hmm.
There's just been a lot to keep up with
Right.
from day to day and to manage. I feel like some days I've got so many balls in the air and I'm just trying to keep them, where they need to be and keep things on track. So there have been some happy times, but there have most definitely been some challenging times this year, times that
Yeah.
have taken me to my prayer closet,
Oh,
that
yeah.
required me to have some quiet time to try to steady myself. But and here we are. But I tell you, I'm thankful like you. I still feel blessed. But
Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
but
I digress just a minute. You talked
mhm.
about the prayer closet. I think you and I might have had this conversation years ago, but it's still something that kind of concerns me. And Lou, you tell me if we don't need to have this on the podcast. But praying, getting on your knees to pray versus me being exhausted and I'm laying in bed and I pray. Is it a problem?
I don't think that matters at all.
You don't?
I do
Because
not.
sometimes I feel so guilty. It's like, but
Mm-mm.
I'm so tired. I just
Uh-uh.
lay right here and say my prayers.
No, Teresa, if I
No.
wake up in the middle of the night, I'll pray right then.
Okay.
I don't think that makes a difference.
Yeah.
But that's just me. But like I said, I've had some moments which are when I say that have sort of brought me to my knees, I just mean of course, figuratively. But as a result, I have deliberately taken some quiet time to
Yes. Yes.
just go where I need to go spiritually to try to reset my
Mm-hmm.
spirit
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
these times. So yeah, that's what I've been challenged with. So, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay then. I'm
But
not a bad
again,
person.
you took us down the rabbit hole. But Teresa, we're going to talk this week about something related to loss, but it's
Uh-huh.
not quite, I think, what people think about. Today's episode is titled Swipe to Let Go When Holding On Holds Us Back.
Intriguing, Lou.
Intriguing. So, Teresa, I've got a confession. Now, as you know, I recently moved out of state and I knew I'd miss my friends, my routine, um, my grocery store. I prepared myself mentally almost a year in advance to, the fact that there would be changes and I would be missing all of that.
I know. I can't even imagine, girl, when I think about it. I mean, moving to a new place and giving up your grocery store,
Oh,
your farmer's market, your
I know.
your routine. I know. It's gotta have it's just gotta have been hard.
It's been very hard, but like I said, I prepared myself for the things that you are going to miss that are going to be big misses and, that are going to cause you to feel some type of way. So I prepared myself. But I tell you, but here's the thing.
Hmm.
I was mentally prepared for all of that. But what I wasn't prepared for was, my phone.
What? What does that got to do with it? Your
Well,
phone.
yeah, I know, right? But let me tell you what I'm dealing with.
Okay.
What what's been difficult in the transition, more specifically, has been the apps that I haven't been able to delete off my phone.
Why would you need to delete your apps because you moved?
Well, you know what? See, right? Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you what's happened. I've got apps on my phone from my gym, which
Oh,
I loved, that
yeah.
have been on there probably
Yeah.
almost 20. That app's been on there for almost 20 years. That's the app that I use every week to schedule the lane that
Yeah.
I swim in. You know,
Yeah.
that's the app that I use when I had a trainer. I'd set up my session, but that's the app that I use when I wanted to schedule time for my recovery, to get in the recovery boots or any of that. Uh, that, so I look at that and okay, and the other big one, Teresa, is the app for my yoga studio where I'd schedule, when I was gonna go into a class, and it's on my phone. And even Teresa, our church app is on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Teresa, I look at them and I think I don't need them anymore. I don't live there anymore. I'm not scheduling anything anymore. But when I tell you, I cannot bring myself to hit delete and get them off my phone.
Now, Lou, okay, at first when you said your phone, I have to admit, I was about to say, girl, put your
Yeah,
big girl panties on.
but
But
it's
I
not what
get
you think
it.
about,
I
right?
get
Yeah,
it. It's that is so relatable. I understand what you're saying because now
right,
you're truly going through this process of grieving.
right,
Those are digital souvenirs, right? They remind you of the
right,
life that you've left
right.
behind
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
the life
And
that
what
I
a
love. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I get it. I get
yeah.
it. But Lou, here's something. Go ahead and replace them with the new sit town
Mm,
apps,
well,
right?
you know what? Yeah, I know. And I've added some apps, some new apps, but I still haven't deleted those because Teresa, they do. They remind me of who I was. They connect me to my routine, and that routine gave me comfort. That
Yeah,
routine
absolutely.
provided stability to my life. It connects me to my community that I became a part of, and that became a part of me. It formed my sense of purpose.
Yeah, sometimes, letting go of things, no matter how small, feels like you're erasing part of your identity. It
Yes,
does.
that's it exactly. So it's not about the app that I see on my phone. It's about the connection. Like I said, it's the feeling of security, stability, familiarity. And in a new place, all of that, everything is still up in the air. I don't have those feelings yet for the new
Right,
place.
right.
Yeah,
It's gonna take some time. And Lou, I have experienced it. Now that I'm sitting here
yeah,
listening to you and just
yeah,
reflecting a bit, I had to move from a place to here, right? Because
yeah,
I'm not
right,
from
right,
here.
right.
And when I tell you, it wasn't apps on a phone back then, but it was my hairstylist.
Oh yeah, Teresa,
It
yeah,
wasn't
your
it wasn't it
hairstylist.
wasn't it wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't yoga or the swimming lane reservation app,
So,
but it was
so
my
I
hairstylist.
was about to say, so go on and tell our audience just how bougie you were.
It's not about me today.
Well, if you won't tell on yourself how you used to fly back home for your stylist and all of that. So,
Oh gosh, yes, I
yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the things
But
we do. Yep.
yeah, but here's the catch. Just because something was good doesn't mean it still fits where we are now because clearly those apps don't fit.
Ooh, say that back again, sis.
Yeah, letting go is hard, but sometimes holding on is even harder, you know?
Mhm. And that includes emotional clutter and digital clutter, which is a real thing. Did you
Yeah.
ever think
I know,
it?
right?
Yeah,
Never did.
it's okay to delete the app, Lou.
Yeah.
You're not deleting the memories.
I know that exactly. And folks, you should know that when that happens, you're just making room for new ones, new routines, new communities, new apps that reflect on the you that you're becoming, the who you are right now. You're forming new, you're doing a new thing.
Right. And in worst case, you can always reload it, but odds are you won't need it. Right?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. So here's our challenge to our listeners. Take a look at your phone. Is there something you're hanging on to that no longer serves you? Not necessarily because you moved, but because you have changed.
Let's just do a little reframe. What about in your closet or
Mm-hmm.
in your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Letting go can be a soft reset, not a hard goodbye.
Yeah, so true. So we're right there with you. Learning to make space for the new without fearing we're dishonoring the past.
And Lou, I think we should end on a light note.
Okay.
Let's make a deal. If you delete one of your old apps, I'll finally unsubscribe from those emails from that book club that I only went to twice.
I tell you, that's another one deal. Okay. One small swipe for woman, one giant leap for mental clarity. Thanks for listening, everyone. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who's trying to let go of something or someone.
And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Until next time.
Take care. We wish you well.
And keep your earrings on.